Hi everybody, I want to give you a quick demonstration of how to use Analyze360 to produce a set of sociometric reports. So the first thing that you want to do is start with a CSV file of your customers' names and addresses. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and upload that into the system. So this one happens to be called testfile.csv. We go ahead and upload it, and it's going to try to ask us to match the column names to the column names that are in the CSV spreadsheet. So in this case, they've all matched up neatly, but we can choose different column names, column titles for our CSV file as we wish. Once we are satisfied that those are the correct column headers, then we go ahead and select our baseline. The baseline is the sample of the US population that we want to compare our target audience to. In this case, I'm just going to choose all US households, but we can choose different ethnicities, different age groups, different political orientations, etc. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue. And what that's going to do is it's going to start our data set processing. And it takes a couple of minutes, depending on the size of your data file, to be able to use a data file to produce a summary sociometrics report. What I'm going to do here is just to skip ahead and take a look at the same data set which has already been uploaded. And so when a report is complete, I can just go to Manage My Reports and pick the report I want to view. And the first thing that you'll see is what we call our lifestyle categories. So we divide pretty much every US household up into one of 32 categories by age, income, household composition, etc. And you can see our current file is done processing over there in the background. And we put these households into groupings. And then we give you a breakdown of your audience, your customers that you've uploaded, what categories that they fall into. So in this particular audience of 100 people that I've uploaded, we were able to match 74 unique people within that file. And we find the following categories. In this case, active grandparents. These are seniors, high net worth seniors, 65 plus. A mix of college, high school, and graduate school education, and no longer children in the home, and spending primarily on personal investments, luxury items, destinations, etc. The next biggest category that we find for our audience in this case is what we call McMansions and private schools. This is a younger age group, but also very wealthy, spends on family activities, spends on long-term financial investments and instruments, spends on housing, etc. We can see a third category different from the other ones here. This is young families as a category. So these are folks who are 18 to 29 with maybe a 1 or 2 small children in the home. So all of these we get a report back on the classification of the different individuals within a file to find out some information about the lifestyle. The next thing that we can do is view what we call summary sociometrics. Summary sociometrics are statistics about our audiences. So we can view statistics about the household income. On the right-hand side, we're looking at the baseline. This is all US households. And on the left-hand side, we're looking at your audience, the people that you uploaded. And so we can see here quite a bit of difference in the household income. The US is kind of evenly distributed over a series of income bands. In this particular audience, we see that they tend to concentrate more on the wealthy side. Even more pronounced in the case of net worth. Again, the baseline is all US households. And our target audience here is the folks that were uploaded in the file. Credit rating, same thing. Gender, as you know, gender in the United States is more or less balanced, but we can see in this audience we're seeing much more skewed towards a male target for this particular data set that's been uploaded. Same thing with age. Age tends to follow a bell curve in the U.S., but this age group skews older, 55 and plus. We also have information about ethnicity. We have information about the number of children in the home. We have information about marital status. We have information about who owns a home and what educations are, home market value, etc. So those are our options for our summary sociometrics. When we look at full sociometrics, what we're doing is we're comparing a variety of variables, consumer variables that we know from our data files in the target audience, the folks that were uploaded, with the baseline. And they're the ones that are most distinctive for the target audience are filtered here to the top. So the list that I've uploaded happens to be a list from a religious charity. And so I'm not surprised at all to find buy religious books and items to be the most distinctive sociometric variable for this particular audience. We can see also that this audience is much more likely to read books about current affairs. This audience is, for whatever reason, more interested in computers and more likely to have an office in the home. We can continue. We have roughly 200 variables that are presented in the summary sociometrics report, and they give us a range from much more likely or much less likely to variables that maybe don't have much of an impact on the target audience. And the last thing that we have is what we call geography. Geography is basically just seeing your audience on a map. So in this case, I can zoom in on the map. I can see my target audience has maybe 17 or so folks in the Philadelphia area. Each of these plots represents an individual or cluster in the target audience. So sometimes it's a nationwide audience. Sometimes it's a full audience. So that's basically it for a summary sociometric report. Like I said, you get 4 different windows into your data. You get the lifestyle variables that tell us about just broad groupings that people are in. We get the summary sociometrics looking at the various statistical information about households. The full sociometrics gives us the psychographic categories, the buying behaviors, etc., and finally the geography. Thanks for listening.